Welcome to Warden Law in Sunderland for round 2 of the Ultimate Karting Championship. Work on the infrastructure here has rapidly turned this into one of the best destinations in the UK for karting. It's a firm favourite on the UKC calendar for drivers, teams and spectators alike. The opening round was certainly fruitful for some, but barren for others, not registering the results that they might have expected. So earlier on, I caught up with some of the winners and those drivers who perhaps would have expected a little more from their weekends.
Round 1 was obviously amazing, coming away with the win. It was a really consistent weekend. Came 4th in the pre-final, started 4th for the final, made our way up to 3rd, caught the 2 leaders that pushed away, overtook them, then just led the rest of the race until the red flag, which helped me massively.
Oh, is this going to be the lead from Gornall? How has he done that in 1 lap? Sam Gornall goes from 3rd to 1st in less than a lap.
Round 1 was fantastic for me. Finished first and had a crash in one of the heats. So it affected championship points, but it was a very good finish. We found a lot of pace in the final. Carried on going, making moves after move after move. And then we got to Gabe, past Gabe, took the win from there.
In round 1, the final was really exciting because me and James were going wheel to wheel together, and that last lap was really heart melting for every people that was watching, because James knocked us off because he thought I made a gap for him. Yeah, well, in the final, me and Tyler broke away for the final, and into the last lap into the boot, went for a move down the inside, but we ended up colliding, and I crossed the line first, but I ended up getting a 5-second penalty to finish second in the end. Racing's racing, you just gotta take what you get, even if you don't feel it's fair, but it's fine.
Round 1 was a good one. Started P2, then got to the lead. Last 3 laps defended and then got P1.
It was a good weekend because I won. I started second and we had a nice battle with Sebastian Mins and Finn Leslie, but I came out on top.
For me, round 1 at Wilton Mill didn't go too well because we had a few mechanicals in the heats, didn't give us the qualifying points we would have liked. Then when we made the B final, we had a few issues with people spinning in front and oiling up again, so that didn't quite work in our favour for us. But
round 1 Wilton Mill wasn't the best for us because we just switched back from a Car Republic to an OTK again, and there was just a lot of carnage and everything. The weather wasn't the best. It was just mixing all the time, and no one really knew what they were going to expect on track.
Yeah, round 1 at Wilton Mill, we felt really unlucky. In the heats we had a couple of incidents, and then we managed to have 1 good heat which put us in a good place, so we started pole for the last chance race, managed to win that, which gave us another chance for the pre-final to be able to get through to the super final. We had good pace, just not the luck.
The last 3 drivers in that segment there, all seeded for 2022, but none of them made the super final at Wilton Mill. Hopefully they'll have better luck this weekend. Let's have a quick look at the track here at Warden Law with Ewan Sharwell. We're on board using the visor cam through the start down to turn 1, virtually flat out, just a little dab on the brakes at turn 1 into Brian's Bend, that little left-hand kink. The double apex is the dog leg, 2 curbs, that's the second of them. We run downhill now into the left-hander at St John's. You will see overtaking here. Run the curb on the exit down to the 2 centre turns. Centre 1 is the left-hander, centre 2 the right-hander. Again, overtaking opportunities if you get the run. From the right-hand it leads you into the chicane, right, left, and then run all of the curb on the exit. We're now into the back, what they call the back straight, I'll call it the banana straight. This is Gasworks Bend, you'll see plenty of overtaking here. Left-handed now into the horseshoe, series of left-handers, that's the last one, into the final bend. This is Paddock Bend, out onto the main straight and across the finish line.
The Honda Cadet Super Final is the first final up in this programme. And the chassis that dominated in the early noughties, Zip Kart, you may have thought had slipped somewhere off the radar since then. But I can tell you in 2022, it's making a big comeback, with many drivers making this their chassis of choice. Earlier on, I caught up with Earl Panarji, who's the main man at Zip Kart these days, to ask him how they're getting on and what are his hopes for this weekend.
Hi, my name's Earl Panarji, director of Zip Kart, and the Zip team right behind us. Been involved since early 2010. My wife is Martin Hines' daughter. He said, "What's Earl doing these days?" My wife said, "Nothing much." And he said, does he want to help me for a couple of weeks?" Which turned into up to now.
And it's a fantastic story, the story of Zip Kart. Obviously, Martin Hines, the late Martin Hines, needs no introduction. Almost 50 years ago, he set it up, and he won just about everything. But just give us a flavour of the background of Zip Kart.
It's always been passion-driven. He started by helping a lot of people, which turned into basically just nurturing talent, where sometimes finances were a burden on kids, and that's where it'd help them out, because he'd saw the talent. And we're going back to that, basically. It's always been a proven strong chassis. Now, when I came on board on the forefront, we looked at the chassis which worked at their good and bad points, and I just blended them both to make something that works really well. We thought long and hard about the design. First, had to make it cool for the kids. I need to know what my target audience is, the demographic. So I was looking at things that kids are in tune to these days, but also on our sticker kits, there's different colours you can have. So we all run the same sticker kit design, but there's different themes. So you have where the red is, you'll have blue, green, silver. So you're in a team, but everyone's got their own individuality. So we can see on track quite clearly who's who. Our aim is to, regardless of talent level, engine power, I try and make it so everyone's got a fair shot at maximising their talent, because kids out on track, they're expected to be at 100%, and some kids sometimes don't have the data or experience, and that's where we'd say sometimes if the parents can't make test days and we take them on test days, they drop them off and pick them up later on. So we try and make it work for the individual, really, as well. We've got a few kids at different levels, but everyone's maximising their potential, which is good. Warden is one of my favourite tracks. I know everyone says that, but it is one of my favourite tracks. Staff here are really, really nice as well. UKC is just a really well-run event. It gives everyone a fair shot, being mixed grids and not time qualifying, which I personally prefer. It's just a good event to be at, really. Friendly staff.
So this weekend, any drivers that we should have our particular eyes on that are under your awning? Have you got anyone, with hopes pinned on maybe a podium at all?
This track is very much about racecraft as well and seat time. So I'm not going to put pressure on them. I don't want to mention names, but just watch out for us. And we are definitely coming, that's for sure.
Those Zip Karts will no doubt feature in the first of our race action for the Honda Cadet race, but how exactly are the grid positions for the super finals we bring you in these programmes determined? Kev Harris caught up with senior Rotax driver Teddy Pritchard-Williams earlier to find out.
The heat system our viewers might not understand, because we show the super final, which is the climax of the weekend, but prior to that you've had warm-up, practice and then 3 heats. Just give us a feel of how those heats work out.
So this weekend there is a total of 6 heats, and us as drivers are in 3 of them, so 3 out of the 6. In them 3 you have a front, a middle and a back to all make it fair. So in other championships you have qualifying, but this is how it used to be, and it's really enjoyable. So you're meant to have 1 at the front, 1 in the middle, 1 at the back, so there's always chances to have a good result, and you're always up against it.
And obviously the better you do in those heats determines not only your grid position, but whether or not you actually make the super final, because we're in a situation now where you're competing to get in the super final because the numbers are so great. It's 250 drivers here this weekend.
Yeah, that is, you cannot have a bad heat. Like last time out at Wilton, I had a bad heat and you're on the back foot straight away. It's just about consistency is king.
Brilliant. Consistency is key. Teddy, thanks ever so much. And there is plenty to come here from Warden Law. So let's get straight back to it.
Honda Cadet starting grid as the drivers are lining up here at Warden Law.
And this is going to be a fascinating race. Max Cuthbert, championship leader, down in P11, not even on the front page.
So here is the top 10. Rocco Shenton and Kenzo Craigie on the front row from Cole Denham, the privateer, and Jarrett Clark. Oliver Majewski and Max Endicott. Finley Lines in his first season in UKC up in the top 10 alongside Rio Licata, and then Kai Clark and Oliver Spencer rounding out the top 10. But as you mentioned, Alan, P11 on the grid. Max Cuthbert, this could completely blow the championship battle in Honda Cadet wide open. Keep an eye out for Bella Fairclough and Logan Howes in the middle of that pack. Thomas Potter, the young privateer, going very well as well in 20th position on the starting grid. Noah Barham, big surprise to see him down the order. Charlie Wolfett is in the mix there as well. And all the way down to the lower end of the grid, you've got the likes of Mayan Patel, Josh Griffin, Evie Davidson and Riley Till trying to make up progress. Lachlan Johnstone and Finley Smith down on row 16, with Calvin Moffat and the privateer Jaden Mead finishing up the 34-kart grid. Time to go to battle at Honda Cadet here at Warden Law, and it's a great start from row 3 of the grid for Max Endicott. He's tried to split the second row. Little bit of contact there as he goes wheel to wheel with Licata. We're on board with Majewski. He gets through into the first corner, and as they work their way through Brian's Bends and up to the dogleg, there is already a frenetic battle in Honda Cadet as the drivers tussle away through. Up into the center S's, and there's carts off. There's carts off in the dogleg. Oh my goodness, 2 or 3 drivers spinning around, but they've all miraculously managed to get going again. Very impressive work. Despite the little bit of contretemps, they've all corrected themselves and got themselves going again. So there'll be a few impediments, but all 34 drivers are still going as they hop over the back chicane and up towards the back straight. They will be running all the way down to Gasworks Bend, and this is the tussle for position up front. Kenzo Craigie trying to get into the lead after already a frenetic start.
Kenzo Craigie could lead this championship with Max Cuthbert starting down on P11. This could be Kenzo Craigie's day. He could take the championship lead when all is said and done, but there's a long way to go yet. Back on board with Majewski. It's Max Endicott down the inside for Synergy, and he takes the position.
Now he's got to try and hold him again through Brian's Bends, because there's a good opportunity at the dogleg that he could lose ground just on the energy lost through the trajectory of that corner, but he manages to catch it back at the apex. Check out the battle for 4th position. It's a long train of carts, and on the inside, there's the move from Jarrett Clark. He gets a lovely move on the inside line there with the left-hander of Senna 1. They come off Senna 2 and up towards the back chicane, hopping over the curbs again on the exit. So much curb use, they're not even on the track.
Yeah, the sawtooth curb there, taking a lot of stick, but again coming up the inside. So Majewski losing another place, this time to Rio Licata. So Oliver not having the best start to the race. Can he recover?
Well, the top 3 have well and truly broken clear now. Shenton, Craigie, Denham, no change between those 3. Here's the battle for 6th position, and I think we're about to lose another place. Here comes Kai Clark, charging up the inside of Majewski. Not a lot he can do, and he's got to shut that door. Just about manages to before Oliver Spencer cracks a whip at the inside line. So that was very well timed indeed there by Majewski. He almost lost ground, and Finley Lines is also going to try and line up a manoeuvre, but check them out as they run in formation. Through Senna 1, through Senna 2, and there's going to be the move on the inside from Cole Denham. Denham gets up in a second place, and there is already a big tussle between those 3, and look what that's done to the battle behind. They are now starting to chip away. It's not going to be long before Endicott and Jarrett Clark are all over them.
Finley Lines started P7, he's down to 10th as he went through the line, so he's lost some places with some work to do.
Yeah, yellow flags, the yellow light was on there, so somebody appears to have come off just up in front. I'm not entirely sure where that is, but certainly there was a yellow flashing light there in the marshal post.
Max Cuthbert had the fastest lap, but Max Endicott has the fastest lap now. So Endicott with a just under a minute, 59.263. Fastest man on track, but he's not got track position. Currently in 4th. Can he close down those in front? It looks like he is, Jake, getting closer to them.
Certainly is. Looks like that was just a temporary yellow. It certainly didn't cause many problems. And this is going to be the move for the lead. Up on the inside comes Cole Denham. Cole Denham takes the lead from Rocco Shenton. Here comes the move from Finley Lines. He moves up past Majewski now as well. So the Synergy Race young boy is doing a fantastic job as he continues to make progress here. They hop over the curbs again on the back chicane and up towards Gasworks Bend. Now this is going to be a tight battle for the lead, and I don't think it's just going to be 3 drivers coming for it.
Yeah, we've not seen much of him yet, Jake, but going through the line last time in 12th place, Max Cuthbert, championship leader, started P11. He's lost a place when we would have expected him to be making places, Jake, but not as yet.
Well, that just shows you how competitive it really is in Honda Cadet. Even the championship leader is not finding it so easy to charge his way through the field. And we've got drivers, you can see some great wheel-to-wheel battles all the way through the pack. Denham, Shenton, Craigie, Endicott and Jarrett Clark, and they are absolutely line astern now, those 5 drivers. So this is tightening up, and there's even not that much of a gap back to Licata and Kai Clark. They could tighten up, and we could see a 7-kart train, and we've still got quite a long way to go in this one, so it could still go anybody's way.
Yeah, certainly not over yet. Oliver Spencer moved into the top 10 as he went through the line last time. Cuthbert made up a place back to his original place, that's 11th. He just goes through the picture there running the sawtooths.
Really do kick the back end of the karts out through Gasworks Bend. They're almost power sliding as they try and get as fast a line through. You can use so much energy. Oh, big twitch there from Denham, and that was enough for Rocco Shenton to make his bid to get back into the lead. So that was very well timed. Now Kenzo Craig is going to try get through, but he's going to lose out to Endicott. They're going to be squeezing each other at Bryant's Bends. Endicott gets through. 3rd position, well timed there. He really stood on the apex, manages to charge back into 3rd position. So Endicott making good use of the moment there as we go back on board with Majewski on the 360-degree camera. And on the inside, lovely bid from Oliver Spencer. The passion driver gets through into the position. And Majewski is going to have to work hard here to get that back again. But as they hop over the curbs once more in the back chicane, they've got some very tight battles still to come.
It is a great shot, that, isn't it, as they come out of this chicane. This is the midfield battle, so pick out your favourite drivers.
There is a lot of wheel-to-wheel still coming here. This is just outside the top 20. We've still got great racing all the way down the field. That's what's brilliant about Honda Cadet. It doesn't matter whether you're running in the 1st position, in 6th position, in 11th position, in 18th position. You've still got great overtaking moves in the middle of the gaggle. You've always got a great race to bid for in Honda Cadet in the Ultimate Karting Championship, and you're never going to be out there on your own fighting your way back, as you're going to have so many drivers to play with.
This looked early like it might be 3 drivers that pulled away from the rest. No such luck, and another change for the lead.
Big shuffle there. That was Endicott going backwards to 5th position. So a big shuffle of the deck again, and we saw Rio Licata getting 2 wheels on the grass there out of St John's, and that really unsettled the kart. So all of that has now just tightened this group up once again. You've got Kenzo Craigie back into 4th position, trying to close up on Jarrett Clark. He now finds himself in 3rd position behind Shenton and Denham. So Shenton is still your leader, Denham in 2nd, but Jarrett Clark has worked his way very steadily from 5th position. Now he's in 3rd. He could go all the way to the top.
And Finlay Lyons went through the line last time in 8th place, and that's a nice comeback. Oliver Spencer and Oliver Majewski now got a little bit of work to do. These are the top 8 drivers. There they are. Lyons 7th now. So Finlay Lyons racing for synergy. He's got his teammates in front of him.
This is Spencer versus Majewski. They're dueling away for 9th place behind Rio Licata. Bit of a twitch there as well from the 84, who just managed to save a wayward moment there. That was Harry Friel, who almost lost control of the kart completely and manages to catch it. You can see a little bit of daylight starting to appear on the inside. Here comes Kenzo Craigie back into 3rd position. He makes his bid there on Jarrett Clark. And this is the tough nature of Honda Cadet. You've got to make your overtaking move before the guy behind you makes his. Riley Till now battling away, the privateer, having a little tussle here with Mayan Patel and Noah Barham. And Bella Fairclough is in the mix here. Another difficult race for an established front runner. Bella Fairclough did such a good job at the first round at Wilton Mill, don't forget. But yet another very talented racer struggling to make progress.
Yeah, she qualified in the top 6, I think, that day. Finlay Lyons with the fastest lap, Jake. So Finlay, who dropped back early, I think he was back to 13th after a poor start, but he's gradually working his way back, and in 7th place currently, right on the back of this group. There he is, fastest driver on track, picked out. Now he's got teammates in front of him. What he can't do is allow that to dictate his momentum. He doesn't want to think, you know what, I don't want to take my teammates off. It's my first weekend in the championship this weekend. Don't want to upset anybody. Can't afford to think like that.
Here we go, inside manoeuvre now from Max Cuthbert. Here he comes. He has taken his time about it, but he's looked after the tyre as well, so he could make up quite a few places here at the end of the race just by staying in the hunt, looking after the kart, looking after the tyres. You've got to think wisely through these finals because it's not won in the first few laps. You have to look after the kart all the way through, and now he's got a good chance to make up the ground. But check this out at the front end of the field. Denham, Shenton, Craigie, Clark, Endicott, Kai Clark and Finlay Lines absolutely line astern. Endicott gaps it to a 58.76 one lap. Brilliant new fastest lap from him. But this is so tight. You've got 7 drivers covered by a second. Anyone could take this.
And this is the battle for 8th underneath the drone. 3 karts in that one. So what's that, Riolo Carter, Oliver Spencer and Max Cuthbert
Here we
in
go.
that group.
This is Shenton going to make his bid for the lead, and he's going to leave the door wide open. Craigie's through, Clark is through, Denham is down to 4th, could be 5th, as now Endicott and Clark are trying to get there. Finlay Lines is trying to get in on the inside. That's all it takes. One slight moment. It's just the lightest dab of the brake, the slightest run wide. That's all it takes. The floodgates can open. Now Jarrett Clark has just been given a warning flag. He was in the middle of that group. For some reason, they seem to have picked him out.
Yeah, interestingly, the man on the line there is holding up a warning flag. Should be holding up a warning flag with a number. I think the number may be on the digiboard behind him.
Oh, there goes Craigie. Craigie back on the inside of Shenton. We are struggling to keep up with it because it keeps changing. A lovely move there from Kenzo Craigie. So now he takes over the lead.
And new race leader, and as things stand, Jake, he will be the new championship leader moving forward if things stay like this. I think he could probably afford to lose maybe 1 place and still have the championship lead.
And he defends beautifully out of Gasworks Bend as well. They come through the horseshoe and up towards Paddock Bend, the final turn. Tight hairpin, easy to lose traction and lose a little bit of a speed that's scrubbed off there. So they've got a minute to go, and I reckon that's going to be 2 laps tops. Not really going to get much more time than that. They might just get 3 actually, based on when they came across the line. So it's going to be very tight. But these 3 have started to break clear now. And Kenzo Craigie in front of Shenton and Jarrett Clark. So these 3 still very close together. Shenton still hungry, looking for his manoeuvre. Jarrett Clark got a little bit close to them in the braking zone there for Senna 1. So that could have been the moment. So they're going to have a little bit of a tussle now. Up through to the back chicane once again. Up over the curbs. They're barely using the road at that point. And as they come through up towards Gasworks Bend, can Kenzo Craigie hang on to it? He's got a slightly wider trajectory, but that does keep the door firmly closed. So Rocco Shenton can't get through. Jarrett Clark has nowhere to go. Kenzo Craigie hanging on for now. Final 12 minutes plus a lap, so you can see the time is going to tick down. They come across the line with 2 seconds on the clock, so this race has got 2 laps left in it, not 1. That is going to be a tough mission for Kenzo Craigie. All the drivers behind him now will know that this is the penultimate lap. They'll have done the math, so they are going to use this opportunity. This is where we're really going to start to see the big racecraft manoeuvres come out.
Max Endicott with the fastest lap. He's not got track position, though. He's in 5th place. For viewers new to the sport, so 12 minutes plus a lap, and it's 12 minutes. At the end of the 12 minutes, there will be 1 lap remaining. There were still 2 seconds left when they went across the line, so that means they'll have this lap. The clock's already, as you can see, counted down to 0, so there was 1 lap left when they crossed the finish line this time.
And look at Craigie, he tried to keep a tight line on the inside, but that meant he ran wide on the exit. So Rocco Shenton now takes the lead away from him. He took 1 step back to go 2 steps forward. Shenton was wise to it, and unfortunately Craigie's been crowded out. He's going to lose several places now as we go into the last lap. He's been swamped. Clark's got through in a second. Denham's got through into 3rd, I do believe. So that's really hurt Kenzo Craigie as Finlay Lines has got into 6th position at the line. He managed to get past Kai Clark, but Rocco Shenton back in the lead. Tiniest bit of daylight now that we're on the last lap between himself and Jarrett Clark. But Cole Denham is going to make his launch on the inside. That'll do nicely. 2nd position for the number 2. Can he catch Rocco Shenton before the end of this lap? He is signalling to Jarrett Clark. Come on, We could still get him. We've got time. We could throw it in at Gasworks Bend. We might even be able to get him into Paddock Bend. He charges down. Shenton's going to protect. Perhaps that was a little bit early, but he was perfect on the exit apex, so he doesn't keep the door open at all. Now through to the horseshoe. One last chance. Is there going to be a move? No, he's not going to get close enough. It's going to be Rocco Shenton. He will take the victory. Brilliant foresight. Rocco Shenton read the last lap perfectly, and he thoroughly deserves the victory. Great racing right the way to the finish line. Several drivers banging their steering wheel or their helmet in frustration. It can all fall away in the closing stages. Rocco Shenton by a 1/10 of a second ahead of Cole Denham. Jarrett Clark rounds out the podium. Max Endicott and Kenzo Craigie covered by a second. Finley Lines, what a debut, P6. Guy Clark in 7th place, a bit of a gap back to Rio Licata, and then Max Cuthbert, the championship leader coming in, only finishes 9th this time. That's going to open the championship up. Oliver Spencer rounds out the top 10, but Rocco Shenton makes his claim to the fight for the Ultimate Karting Championship on the cadet category. Brilliant job.
Well, what a fantastic race for those young Honda cadets just coming in off the track now. It could have been anyone's. There was a train of 5 of them leading at the front, then 7 of them. It was Craigie, it was Shenton, it was Cole Denham. Whose race was it? Well, in the end, it was Rocco Shenton's. He's going to be thrilled with that win. Let's go and see what he had to say at the podium.
Rocco, race win this afternoon in Honda Cadet. Is this one of your favourite tracks, Warden Law?
Yeah, it's all right. It's quite a good track, long straights and some tight twisty bits. I like tight twisty tracks.
And what were the key points in the race from your point of
So
view?
the key points in the race, going into the last bend, I kept undercutting them. Then I thought I should just toe Cole Denham. Then on the second to last lap, Jarrett Clark got in front of me. Then he went defensive, and I went on the outside. Then I got the switch back. Then I gapped him a little bit.
So all this success this weekend, who's it down to?
Well, my dad and Zipcart and Dave Bell Chambers.
Off the line, I wasn't that good at all and dropped down to 8th, but I made my way back up to 5th, and then I was chasing down the lead 4 as they'd broken away. Then I caught them and got into 3rd, and the top 3 had broken away, but my teammate Cole Denham was starting to catch us. On the second last lap, he's nearly at us. Then I got into 2nd, and the lead had a gap. So on the final lap, I tried to defend it, but Cole got past and I ended up 3rd. I'd like to thank my mum, my dad, my mechanic, Lewis Mackey, Scott Gollins, Mike Spencer at Synergy Factory Team, and my sponsors Build Generation and Broadlane.
So despite only coming home in 5th position, it's a new championship lead for Kenzo Craigie. He's 11 points now ahead of Oliver Majewski. Max Cuthbert, he's down to 3rd, but he's still only 20 points off the lead. Max Endicott, Rio Licata, and Logan Howes are very much in contention as well in the top 6, with Oliver Spencer not far away either. Bella Fairclough, Ethan Griffiths, and Jack Price round out the top 10.
The Ultimate Karting Championship has rapidly become the most popular championship in UK karting, attracting huge numbers of drivers. There are some 250 of them here this weekend. And along with that comes some pretty impressive motorsport teams as well, like Coles Racing, who have joined for the first time this year. Earlier on, I caught up with team principal Adrian Coles, who's no stranger to motorsport himself, to ask him what attracted him to the UKC. Adrian, great to see you here at a UKC weekend. It's round 2 of the 2022 season. What was it about UKC that made you want to bring the team along and get involved this year?
I think the popularity has been growing over the last couple of seasons. You've seen that. The Rotax classes as well have grown massively in the same basis. And we had so much demand from customers wanting to do this series that it was a no-brainer for us to actually come along, participate and support the series.
Yeah, and support it you are well. You got a lot of drivers under the awning this weekend. How many have you bought and how are they all getting on?
We've got 12 drivers here, but we're involved with all the classes. So we've got Micro, Max, Mini, Junior and Senior. So we participate in everything.
And just give us the background of Coles Racing. How long has it been going? Because I know it's not just karts that you've been racing. Sometimes Coles Racing is at the track with bigger vehicles as well.
Has been in the past, just the karting now, but we've been going about 32 years as a team. We did car racing for a couple of years in Formula Renault and Formula BMW alongside the karting side, but just the karting now. It's enough to concentrate on one thing.
It is for sure. And what I like though with the stories of motorsport that come out is you've got like drivers now who have got kids of their own. They were race car drivers themselves and now they've got youngsters in karting. So you're seeing talent go full circle.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's one of the issues of getting older in this game is you see people come back around for the second time. So we have got drivers who literally race with us themselves in Rotax classes in the past and now are back around with their own children. But we've been involved with Rotax from the start, since it started, I think 1998, I think it was in England, and we've been involved from the start. So it's nice to see it back on the up and up again.
Yeah, it is. Obviously UKC just predominantly, well, just fully Rotax engines now. And these engines just run and run, don't they? They're solid. They're a solid bit of kit.
I don't think there's any other motorsport class where you can buy a new engine package and get a warranty, depending on 6 to 12 months, depending when you buy the thing. And they tend to be bulletproof. It's very rare you get problems with them, which is great for motor racing. It keeps the costs down, which is why everything's booming.
And just casting your mind back, we're here at round 2, but cast your mind back to round 1 in senior Rotax. You started off fantastically. Sam Gornall took the overall win.
Yeah, it was a great sort of start to the season. Sam's going well this weekend as well. But I think at Wilton Mill we were competitive in all the classes. Just had that little bit of luck to get the win with Sam, but we were fighting for the win in the minis and the juniors there as well. And it's all looking good this weekend as well with many of our drivers at the front end. So fingers crossed for the day to go, we'll be on the podium again.
Yeah, and fingers crossed the weather stays like this. People are enjoying a bit of sunshine for round 2 as opposed to the rain and the wet weather tyre dilemmas they had in round 1.
It's definitely a pleasant change compared to Wilton Mill with the weather we had there. But no, here it's been really good. The forecast tomorrow is more sunshine, so we're looking forward to it.
And one quick last one about the setup here at Warden. Great circuit, well run. The drivers love this, don't they? Really flowing turns.
It's a real driver's track. I think Matthew Hunter, who owns the track here, spent a lot of time, effort and money on this circuit, made some great improvements with the track and the pits and facilities, and I think that's going to be one of the main events here for the future is at this track because of the progress they made as a circuit. It's great.
68 drivers contending this championship, only 34 of those can make it to a final, and Noah Wolf, championship leader, is on pole. Josh Graham alongside him, Finn Leslie on the second row alongside the ever-improving Freddie Housley, Will Murphy and Hugh Moulton, then Sebastian Minns and Harry Bartle, Thomas Mintz-Spearing and Liam Hartley round out the top 10, from Widdicombe and Amor, Buck and Reed, Lewis Goff and Lizzie Mentia, and then Aras Majauskis and Jack Thompson from Jonas Klimas and Jack West. There's a whole host of contenders behind, Alexander Zingarevich and Ben Simpson, Mizanskis and Dalton, McIlwraith and Taylor Orridge. And it's going to be a great fight all the way down to Charlie Berry and Gabriel Cullen as we go racing up to the first corner. Noah Wolf takes the initiative early doors and he's going to be there out in front of Josh Graham, but Graham is going to push him all the way as Hartley tries to dive in on Minns. That was a very tight move, and he manages to back out of it just in the nick of time through the dog leg.
We normally have one on-board camera. In this case, we've got two, and the drivers just happen to be Linus Stern. That's Sebastian Minns in front, going up the inside. We're on board with Minns now, looking back on our other cameraman, Liam Hartley. The kart stream through the chicane, and then onto the back straight. It is a bit like a banana rather than a straight. This is Gasworks Bend, good overtaking opportunity. That leads into the first of 3 left-handers which make up the horseshoe. Wolf leads it, and Noah Wolf, of course, is the championship leader in a big 68 driver field. He was the championship leader at the end of the opening round. He won the opening round and he's on pole for this round, and that tells you his quality right there. 68 drivers, if you win the opening round and you're on pole for round 2, that tells you how good he is as a driver.
Yeah, it's good to keep the consistency flowing, and it shows that he is quick everywhere we go. Oh, big run on the inside there. That was a big lunge from Will Murphy. He manages to make it stick, but there was not a lot of room to negotiate. Hugh Moulton watches his rival go past him. There isn't an awful lot he can do about it. He just has to line up for another manoeuvre as here comes Hartley on the inside. Mins watches it happen from behind him, or at least we do, as they continue on their way. Lots of jockeying for positions. Leslie trying to chase down Noah Wolf. Freddie Housley, this is easily the best we've ever seen from him, and it's wonderful to see him battling for the podium in great form as well. He keeps making these massive steps. Now Moulton is trying to chase down his opponent. He came through 5th on the previous lap. He has lost positions, but he's certainly got time to make up. But we have got plenty of time still to battle here at Warden Law. Looking down at Warden Law from the drone into centre one. Oh, contact! Aras Majauskis and Dan Amor. They just got a little bit too close together. I think Amor left a little bit too much space. Majauskis saw that as an opportunity, and they just couldn't quite fit the two karts into the same bit of racetrack. An easy problem to have there. They just got tangled up with each other. Nothing malicious from either driver. Pure racing incident.
And Finn Leslie, meanwhile, is the new race leader out of the camera shot, but Finn Leslie has made his way through to the lead. As things start to go through the line, it's Leslie, Wolf, Housley, and we've got Mins, Graham, Murphy, Hartley. Hugh Moulton's now down. He was 5th, he's now 8th. Now we've got Harry Bartle and Thomas Min Spearing rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, fair play, I have to say, to Sebastian Mins. He's been making good progress there. Oh, here comes Freddie Housley. Beautiful move on the inside, but he runs just the tiniest bit wide. And oh, Noah Wolf, as he gets past Freddie Housley, a little cheeky wheel rub as he comes through. He was leaving nothing on the table. Now here comes Mins on the inside line, and that's going to leave Freddie Housley a little bit aggrieved.
The 360-degree cameras are in action today, Jake, as we've already seen that in the first Honda Cadet race, and we're seeing it here in Mini Max as well. Fantastic action from the 360-degree cameras as Harrison Whitcomb now sets the fastest lap for Argenti Motorsport.
And now Josh Graham and Will Murphy are going to try and close down on Freddie Housley. He needs to gain oh, we've had an incident at turn 1. Kev is down there.
So it was kart 92 that slipped off at the end of that straightaway into what is the first corner here. Jack West coming right in front of our camera position. Luckily, the tyre wall stopped him. It was a big hit, but he got out and he walked away from it. The rest of them, though, were there back and racing.
Well, that is the best news, but now Finn Leslie is going to go wheel to wheel with Sebastian Mins. They bang wheels 2, 3 times. My goodness, Leslie absolutely determined that Sebastian Mins is not going to take the lead away from him.
We've been filming Finn Leslie since he was yay big, Jake, and we know he's an absolute hard charger. Doesn't ask any quarter, doesn't give any in return, and that is an example of the quality of Finn Leslie. He was not giving up the race lead at that point in the race, no chance.
That is fantastic. I mean, he was trying to deny the biggest steal since Ocean's 11. That was absolutely brilliant work there from Finn Leslie. Mins was almost spat off the road. He just about kept it together as they hop over the back straight chicane. Mins is going to have another go, but Leslie knows he's there. Mins will come through on the inside. Watch Leslie on the switch again. Beautiful. This time Mins is going to keep it to the inside line though. And here comes Noah Wolf. Leslie's going to try and keep Wolf at bay. Oh, terrific from Mins. He learned his lesson from a lap ago. Yeah. Now he knows how to get it done. That was the greatest steal since the Thomas Crown affair.
Absolutely fantastic racing. And look at this group here. What we got, 3, 6, 7 of them out in front. Any one of them can win this race. But again, as you say, Jake, Sebastian Mins just learned it from last time, and if Finn Leslie saw him coming, he had a little bit look over his shoulder there, saw him there, he thought, I'll give him the room and get him on the switchback on the exit, just like last lap, but Mins had learned from that, and this time he's held on to it.
So now Noah Wolf is going to have to try a new trick. It's not going to work the same way again. Here comes Hartley, dives on the inside of Graham, lovely overtake, so Graham now has to watch the rear bumper of his kart as Hartley places it quite nicely, but he got another target, and that is going to be Will Murphy and Freddie Housley. So Murphy there in 4th position, Freddie Housley in P5, Finn Leslie down to 3rd because Noah Wolf has been able to get through into P2, but Noah Wolf is going to take his time about this with Sebastian Mins. He doesn't have to rush it. We've still got 3 minutes on the clock, and this early you really want to be in 2nd or even 3rd place in the race, because the leader is the one who's cutting through the air first, doing all of the hard work, pushing the tyres, pushing the engine, pushing the brakes. They're the ones who are going to have to do most of the job in this race. Being in second place, you can read the situation with a little bit more foresight. Whoa! Big battle there on the drone picked up. Goodness me, midfield squabbles all the way through. I think that was Walker, Reed and Zingarevich. Fantastic dueling between those three. If it wasn't, then we certainly had some great battles between multiple drivers. This is the great thing about the drone. We can pick up so many of these great squabbles, and Finn Leslie picks up another fastest lap, 52.3 for him. And as you can see, doesn't matter where you look on the race circuit, it's picked up by the drone. There are so many battles all the way down this field, and let's not forget, 68 drivers competing in the Ultimate Karting Championship at Minimax this year. To even get a place on this grid, you have got to leave nothing on the table.
Absolutely. 14th place is Lizzie Mentier, and also Alexander Zingarevich started P21. He's up 5 places to 16th. In between, we've got Michael Walker there in 15th place. So plenty of battles going on. You'll see them off the drone. All the midfield battles you can pick up. We can't always make out who they are, but you will no doubt be able to pick out your favourite driver when you see them.
So the top 5 still together. Mins, Wolf, Leslie, Murphy, Housley. Hartley's going well with Graham and Whitacombe. Moulton in 9th place and Thomas Mintz-Spearing in the top 10. Still very close between them all as they charge away for position. There's about 1 minute and 15 left on the clock. Still only about 4.5 seconds covering the top 9 drivers. So it's still quite open with 1 minute to go. All it's going to take is 1 or 2 little bottlenecks in the top 5, and anything could happen as Noah Wolf is charging onto the back of Sebastian Mins again. New fastest lap, 52.3. We might even get a 52.1 out of this race. We've got 1 minute to go on the clock, and it's very, very close to the end now. Drivers are going to start battling any moment.
Noah Wolf will be, well, he'd be reasonably happy with second, because he will know that's more than enough to hold on to a very decent championship lead in what is a highly competitive field. But we know, I'm trying to get my worms out there, Jake. We know Noah, that's what I was trying to get out. We know Noah really well, Jake, and we know he's never going to be happy with second place. He will want the win.
So they go down again into the hairpin at centre 1, up towards centre 2. This is going to be a tight one for Noah Wolf. He's running out of time, but they're going to go down to 0 before the finish line. So this is the penultimate lap. Noah is well aware of the fact that it's now or never really to try and get this move on Sebastian Mins. Mins is in defensive mode. You can see how big the G-force is going through that hairpin at Gasworks Bend. You have to carry so much speed. It almost throws the driver out of the seat. They are leaning on the edge. That pushes the limits of what the drivers can cope with. Liam Hartley checks over his shoulder as we go into the final lap. Wolf is really tightening up behind Mins, and it looks as though Leslie's got Murphy for company. Housley has a little bit of daylight. 5th position should be okay for him. And what a great performance it's been from the Sam Polle racing driver. But Mins is going to have a lot of pressure now. Noah Wolf is tightening up his moves, trying to come through at centre 2. And Mins is going to run a little bit deep up to the chicane. Right, left, right again, and up towards Gasworks Bend. This is where he's going to throw it, but which way will he go? Mins is going to tight to the inside. Noah Wolf will go the long way round, try and switch the route back to the inside. Here he goes, there's enough of a gap. Noah Wolf steals it on the last lap with 2 bends. Absolutely amazing.
Somebody should call the police, Jake, because not only has somebody stolen your voice,
very true,
but Noah Wolf has just stolen it in the final complex.
Oh, amazing. That was so superb from Noah Wolf, just leaving it right to the death. He grabs the race by the throat and steals it from Sebastian Mins. Finn Leslie, a very solid effort there in 3rd position. Great to see Will Murphy and Freddie Housley getting up into the top 5. They are really coming on as racing drivers now. Liam Hartley, P6. Good work for the Jack Dex racing team. Josh Graham in 7th. His teammate Harrison Whitacombe following him home. Hugh Moulton in P9. And Thomas Mintz-Spearing ending up a solid day for Argenti in the top 10. And all of them were covered by less than 7 seconds. What a season it's turning out to be.
Well, how about that? That is what Minimax Racing is all about. Commiserations to Sebastian Mins. He started on the 4th row of the grid in 7th. He looked like he had the race all wrapped up, but hey presto, championship leader Noah Wolf, he had other ideas on that final corner down there, putting the move in that took him the win overall. Finn Leslie was the man who came home in 3rd. Let's go and have a chat to Noah at the podium.
Noah, you won at Wilton Mill, you've won again here at Warden Law. Are you even thinking about a full scoop this season, being undefeated in every super final maybe?
Well, this tough race, I only took the win in the last corner on the last lap, so I had to work really hard for it. Maybe, but it'll be really hard.
Yeah, you're right, it will be extremely difficult. Who are you thanking for your success this weekend?
KR Engines, my dad, my mum, my brother, Louise Keefe from my mind coach, and Ollie Greenall for my sim coach.
Just talk us through that final.
Yeah, so I started 7th, I worked my way up to 1st, got a little bit of a gap, and then I left a gap on the last corner, and then I got overtaken, so.
And who else do you want to thank for this weekend, apart from your mum, dad and the dog?
My team, KR Sport, KR Engines, and my mechanic.
Good points for this weekend. Are you happy with those points for 3rd?
Yeah, well, I mean, it could have been better, but I'm happy with 3rd. I'd like to thank my mum, all my family for coming this weekend, Sam Pollitt Racing, Cream Racing Engines and Raceway Motorsport.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well, the battle is very much joined now between Noah Wolf and Finn Leslie for the title, but Josh Graham has a solid point score as well. So Finn Leslie's actually got his work cut out because Graham and Mins are within 4 points of his tally. Noah Wolf with a 25-point advantage. Will Murphy and Freddie Housley are in the fight too. Harry Bartle on P7 with Liam Hartley, Thomas Mintz-Beering and Hugh Moulton, rounding out a competitive top 10.
Before we bring this programme to a close, TDI Media and the Ultimate Karting Championship would like to pay tribute to Kart Republic's Ashley Todd, who succumbed to mental health issues all too common in difficult times. He was proof positive that nice guys do not finish last, and our thoughts are with his friends and family at this time.
Well, sadly, that draws to a close our first bout of action from here at Warden Law in Sunderland. And oh boy, wasn't the racing good. Join us next time for all of the remaining super final action in round 2 of the Ultimate Karting Championship. See ya.